Don't look out the window. It was nearly midnight when Erlina's power went out. She was alone in her small rented house on the outskirts of the city, surrounded by fields and silence. A storm had been brewing since the evening, rumbling in the distance like a warning, but now it had arrived, full of howling wind and rain that pounded against the windows like angry fists. Erlina had moved there just a month ago, seeking quiet after years of living in a busy city. The house was old but charming, with creaky floorboards and tall windows. She loved it, until that night. With the lights out, the house was wrapped in shadow. She lit a few candles, their flickering glow casting long dancing shapes on the walls. The storm outside grew wilder. Thunder cracked. Somewhere in the distance, something shattered. Maybe a branch, maybe something else. Erlina grabbed her phone to check for updates, but there was no signal. She tried to call her sister. Nothing. She sat on the couch, wrapped in a blanket, trying to stay calm. Then she heard it. Knock, knock, knock. 3 slow knocks. From the window. But she was on the second floor. Her breath caught. She turned slowly. The candlelight barely reached the glass, but she could see a faint outline, a face pressed against the window from the outside. Then it was gone. She screamed and ran to the hallway, heart hammering. She didn't want to believe what she saw. It wasn't possible. No one could reach that window without a ladder. And she had seen no car, no footsteps in the muddy yard. Erlina locked every door and window. She grabbed the kitchen knife, her hands shaking. The storm continued to rage, the wind shrieking like a living thing. That's when she heard the voice, a whisper, software coming from the corner of the room. "Erlina, I see you." She turned. Nothing was there. "Who's there?" she shouted. No answer. Just more whispers, barely audible, like wind through a crack. "Come look. Come see." Then the television turned on by itself. Static, white noise. Her reflection in the dark screen looked wrong. Her face was too pale, her eyes too wide. She turned it off, unplugged it, but it flickered back on. Trying to hold herself together, Erlina decided to go upstairs and hide in her bedroom until morning. Maybe she was imagining it. Maybe it was just stress, lack of sleep. But when she reached the top of the stairs, she froze. Her bedroom door was wide open. She always kept it shut. Inside, the air was ice cold. The candle she had left by the bed earlier had melted down to nothing, wax dripping like blood on the table. The mirror above the dresser was fogged, like someone had been breathing on it. And in the center, a single word was written. "Look." She backed away, shaking her head. "Number no, this isn't real." But when she turned around to leave, her bedroom door slammed shut behind her. Erlina screamed and pounded on the door. Then, behind her, the floorboards creaked. She turned. There was a tall shadow standing near the mirror, blacker than the room itself. No face, just a shape, a presence. It raised a hand and pointed toward the window. "Look," it whispered again. "Look out the window." She refused. "Go away," she screamed. "Leave me alone." But it took a step forward, then another. With no choice, Erlina lunged toward the closet and shut herself inside, crouching in the dark. She held her breath, listening. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, crossing the room. Then silence. And then a whisper. "I'm inside." Hours passed. The storm began to fade. At dawn, Erlina crept out of the closet. The bedroom was empty. The mirror was clean. The window was still locked. She packed her bags. She was done. She didn't care about money, about breaking a lease. She was getting out. Before she left, she stopped by the village library, desperate for answers. The old librarian looked concerned. "That house," she said. "You should never have stayed there alone." "Why? What happened there?" The woman sighed. "It used to belong to a man named Darius Sullen. He went mad after his wife died. Said she was still in the house. Said she talked to him through the mirror. He eventually threw himself out of the second-story window." Erlina felt her blood run cold. "That very window?" she asked. The woman nodded. "And now, others have seen him too, especially when they're alone. He wants someone to join him." Erlina never spoke of it again. She moved to a new city, never lived alone, never stayed somewhere without light or people. But sometimes, when she's half asleep, she still hears it. Knock, 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 on her window, even when she lives on the 10th floor. And when she checks the mirror in the morning, just for a second, she sees something standing behind her. A tall shadow, always pointing, always waiting. And sometimes, just sometimes, she thinks she hears a voice. Next time, look,